Welcome to this explainer on the Inshirah Circle. Look, if you have ever felt completely overwhelmed by just the relentless, non-stop pace of modern life and that heavy pressure to constantly perform, you are absolutely in the right place. Today, we're unpacking a framework that is entirely dedicated to your personal growth, your healing, and ultimately, the pursuit of a genuinely meaningful life. Because honestly, in a world that is always screaming at us to move faster, achieve more, and, always appear perfectly strong, it is literally so easy to lose touch with who we actually are. The core belief here is that we all desperately need a rare, safe space to just hit pause, to reflect, take a deep breath, and truly understand ourselves way beneath the surface level of our daily routines and those endless to-do lists. And that brings us to this core philosophy. Growth begins with honesty, not perfection. I mean, it is so incredibly common to fall into the trap of thinking, that you need to have it all together before you can even start healing or improving. But the truth, you absolutely do not need to have everything figured out right now. Showing up authentically, exactly as you are, with all your flaws, your doubts, the whole shebang, that is the first and most real step on this journey. Okay, let's move right into section 1, why the Inshirah Circle exists. We're focusing on bridging that gap between knowledge and transformation. So here is a question that gets straight to the heart of the matter. Why do I know what to do, but still find it difficult to change? How many times have you read all the right books, watched the inspiring videos, listened to all the talks, yet you still find yourself wrestling with anxiety or self-criticism? This community was built precisely to answer that exact frustration, because it acknowledges a hard truth. Simply hoarding more information is not going to fix the underlying issues. Well then, what actually drives real change? As we just noted, collecting facts isn't the cure. True transformation happens when you finally bridge the gap between what you know in your head and how you actually live your daily life. And this happens by understanding yourself on a much deeper level, applying timeless principles consistently, and intentionally taking small, meaningful steps over a sustained period. That is where the real magic happens. All right, section 2, a different, holistic approach. This is all about moving beyond incomplete internet advice. We've all seen the standard internet advice, right? Just think positively, hustle harder, wake up at 4 a.m., rely purely on willpower. But honestly, that approach is deeply incomplete. Human beings are incredibly complex. We really need a holistic perspective, one that acknowledges how our thoughts, our emotions, our physical bodies, our relationships, they all constantly influence one another. You simply cannot just hustle your way out of complex emotional struggles. Motivation alone? It's totally fleeting. So instead, this is a comprehensive, integrated approach designed to help you truly flourish, rather than just merely cope. It blends contemporary psychological science and evidence-informed neuroscience right alongside practical life coaching. And furthermore, it beautifully marries emotional well-being and character development with timeless ancient wisdom. It really operates as a deeply reflective toolkit for anyone seeking lasting growth. Which brings us to section 3, what you can expect, the practical resources for lasting personal development. So what are the actual tools you'll be using? Well, it's all about active engagement. We're talking live learning sessions, deep reflection exercises, and super practical worksheets. You'll find guided self-development activities working hand in hand with evidence-based psychological insights, plus exclusive articles and really thought-provoking journaling prompts. The entire design here is to encourage real-world action. We are completely shifting away from that passive, sit-back-and-watch style of learning. But wait, I want to emphasize something absolutely crucial. You do not need to complete everything. Seriously, when faced with a ton of resources, it can feel a bit overwhelming, for sure, but there is zero pressure to consume every single piece of content perfectly. Each month naturally builds on the previous one, so the ultimate goal is simply to keep taking gentle steps forward at your own pace. Progress over perfection, always. Moving along to section 4, your guide to meaningful growth. 3 simple commitments for your journey. To get the absolute most out of this framework, the founder, Dr. Rixa, asks that you make 3 non-negotiable commitments to yourself. First, be present. Minimize those distractions. Give yourself permission to slow down. Second, be honest. There is no benefit in pretending. Self-awareness is the absolute foundation of change, so let yourself answer the difficult questions truthfully. And third, be consistent. You don't need a dramatic overnight transformation. It's prioritizing small, daily, intentional steps that actually creates extraordinary change over time. And please keep this vital, gentle reminder in your back pocket. Healing is rarely linear. There will be moments of incredible inspiration and then moments when growth feels painfully slow. And you know what? Both are completely normal. Please be patient with yourself. When you hit a roadblock or face challenging emotions, try to approach those moments with genuine curiosity rather than harsh judgment. Growth isn't measured by how fast you change, it's about your willingness to just keep showing up. All right, our final section, number 5, our values and promise, building a culture of respect, compassion, and continuous growth. These shared values are what ensure the community remains a safe, highly supportive environment. It's all about respecting every person's dignity, listening with profound empathy, and valuing actual evidence alongside wisdom. We are fiercely protecting confidentiality and, above all, offering kindness without a single ounce of judgment. This is a culture where we make it a point to celebrate progress, no matter how tiny that progress might seem. And at the core of all this is a promise from Dr. Rigzit to present psychology responsibly, meaning never chasing those fleeting, viral internet trends at the expense of genuine truth. The goal is to make sure you always leave a session, an article, or a conversation with significantly greater clarity than when you started. It's about fostering deep reflection, not dependency. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to consider this final thought. Discover the strength, wisdom, and purpose that already exist within you. As you go about your day, take a moment to really pause and ask yourself, are you ready to finally stop looking outward for all the answers and start uncovering the incredible strength that is already waiting right there inside you? Keep that with you today. Thanks so much for joining me, and I wish you the absolute best on your path to meaningful living.